right, just banging these things out. Today, Tess says, I have no fear getting under the bar whatsoever. That's very absolute. My issue, particularly in my clean, is catching with a soft core or just pulling and waiting for the bar to fall on me. I thus cannot power clean too heavy because I automatically squat with weight pressing me down. What are some cues to keep my midline stable during the catch and prevent the bar from burying me when it's heavier? What are some exercises I can do to learn this? My core is strong enough and I can stabilize it in other things. So I want to address this last sentence first. My core is strong enough and I can stabilize it in other things. It's because those other things are different things. You have to understand the difference between, static resistance to force in a static position versus it during a movement, like dynamic resistance, right? So the best analogy I can think of is, hanging weights from a rope, right? If we take a nylon line and we just hang 500 pounds from it, that rope might be okay because that it's a continuous 500 pound force. If we take that same rope, that same 500 pound weight, and we throw the weight over a cliff so that it has the added force, that's more than 500 pounds of force that rope is resisting, it then breaks, everybody dies. So the point is, even if you see yourself as having this great core strength, I don't collapse in my front squats or my back squats or anything else, different, right? Yeah, there's still some motion in there, but it's much more controlled than, say, trying to receive a clean or a power clean with heavy weights when you have not met the bar well. In other words, if that bar is crashing down onto you because your execution of the turnover is poor, that is the weight dropping onto the rope versus just hanging on the rope, all right? So understand that your core strength may seem adequate, but it might not be to resist the forces that you're actually putting on it. Now, of course, the point is to reduce that force. We don't want the bar crashing, but at the same time, it's a good idea to develop the kind of strength that will resist that because it will happen occasionally. So, as far as how to get better at this, first of all, I'll link this video. There's a series of drills that I would use to really establish and ingrain a better turnover. And that's going to be the rack delivery, which is literally just that final portion of the turnover from a high level position, rotating the bar, bringing the bar back into the rack position rather than leaving it out front and reaching for it. Tall muscle clean, which is the same thing basically, but you're starting at long arms, right? Bars hanging at the hip and you're just pulling up and turning over. And then a tall clean, which is that muscle clean motion, but you're actively pulling down under the bar without elevating the bar at all with the legs. And those things will really help you to execute that motion identically, regardless of the weight, regardless of how much you've elevated the bar or failed to elevate the bar, so that you are always wherever that bar is. If you pull the bar to here, your shoulders are there because you're executing that same motion that naturally brings the bar and the shoulders together. If you only pull the bar to here, your shoulders are going to be there to meet it, right? You can also practice doing cleans and power cleans and intentionally receiving the bar at different elevations, right? So you may do a set of, 3 to 5, where the first one you're going to receive that bar and stop, hold it like a power clean in a quarter squat position. The next one may be a little bit above parallel. The next one right at parallel. The next one below parallel, full clean. And essentially all you're doing there is learning how to kind of feel the bar body relationship in space and how to control that better so that you don't just completely become disconnected from the bar, throw it up in the air, and then you fall down indiscriminately into a squat and wait for it to crash down on you. No amount of great core strength is going to be able to resist a big enough bar crash with a big enough weight. And then finally, as far as getting stronger, it's not real clear here, but if you're talking about wanting to get stronger in power clean specifically, all those things are going to help. But also, just one final thing is hold all your power clean receiving positions for 3 to 5 seconds. And it's not going to be fun, but I don't really care. You want to get better or not. So when you receive a power clean, lock it off, put the brakes on immediately and just stand there in that same position without changing and making it easier. and you're going to get a lot more strength in those positions, especially if they're a little bit closer to parallel and they get harder and harder mechanically. And I mean, you can, if for some reason power cleans are like really important to you, you could do things like, partial squats or, parallel squats where you're only squatting to parallel and then changing direction, or just, pausing at parallel and getting stronger there. But that's kind of going down that rabbit hole a little unnecessarily. Like the power clean is, the whole point of it really, at least in weightlifting, is to help make your clean better. So once you start getting off that path and you start going down the path of making your power clean better just for the sake of a power clean, you've kind of lost the plot a little bit. So I wouldn't go too far down that road. All right, good luck with that. Have fun. I'm sure it'll be great. Greg Everett with Catalyst Athletics here. Please like and share this video. If you appreciate the content, please subscribe to the channel. The more feedback I get from you guys, the more support I get from you guys, the more free content I can keep making. Thank you.